What's going on, guys? Everybody? Guess what? More cavities. More numbness. Ah, yes. Welcome to another episode of Deep Thoughts, first of all. It's good to be back. It's good to be casting, doing the pod. Podding the cast is always a good time. I just got 3 more cavities filled. Last time I got 4 filled out of the 7 that I accumulated over like a 15-year period. And yeah, I just got the last 3 filled today. And, it was funny the first time to do a podcast like this. Like, I'm a stroke patient. But, the only reason I'm doing it this time is because I gotta take my shots, I gotta take my opportunities to pod the cast. I took some time off work, got out of work early so I could go get said cavities filled. Now I'm trying to take my opportunity while I'm home alone here before I gotta go get the kiddo to cast the pod. So here I am, bye. It's been a minute. It's been too long. I've probably gone longer, but it's been almost 2 months. Now, there was supposed to be an episode of Deep Thoughts out with a special guest. But, oh, dude. It feels so weird. But, of course, knowing me, I screw things up, and I did. Is it tilted? I feel like it's tilted, yo. Hold on. Is it crooked? Also, I am using my brand new camera. My Canon Vixia that I got for Christmas. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of equipment. I don't care if it's the best in the game. It's perfect for Adam. That's right. It's perfect for me with my fine $89 microphone here, which I just ordered another one. So expect more special guests, even though there hasn't been one yet, but there will be some in-person guests. I'm drooling. I'm absolutely drooling. There will, I do plan on having some guests pop up once I get that mic, so look forward to that. But yeah, I recorded a whole great hour and 20-minute podcast with my friend, and we did it in Discord, and I messed up. I didn't record the audio, so it's just a bunch of this. Yeah, it's just a bunch of radio silence. Yeah, I really fluffed up. I realized what I did, though, and next time, and there will be next time. We will be doing another one here soon. On a different subject, though, because I'm not going to rehash an hour and 20 minutes of stuff that we did. But I will have him back on. He will be the first special guest on Deep Thoughts. So I'm going to refrain from telling who it is, because he's really big. He's really big, dude. He's like my best friend. He's my homie. That's who he is. And he does have a YouTube channel. He actually is the one who got me into YouTube. I don't know if I've ever talked to him before. Or about him before. Actually, I have. I've talked about him a few times on the podcast, I believe. But yeah, so we'll be getting him back. We will be trying that again here soon. But to fill that void, I'm just doing a random episode today. I got maybe a couple things I want to talk about. Not too much going on in my life. It's, I'm already just jumping around, I feel like. Did I talk about the video camera? Yeah, I'm using the video camera now. It's pretty sweet. It's freaking awesome. Getting a new mic. I ordered a tripod because I don't have a tripod. My tripod is a chair with books and video games. That is my tripod. Just like I used to do back in the days of 2007 on YouTube, when I used to record Star Wars Battlefront and Time Splitters. Yeah, man, you gotta do what you gotta do, though. But yeah, I do have a tripod coming, new mic, Big things for 2023, I hope. I sure hope. Wearing my hat. My hair's greasy. As it usually is when I get off work from wearing a hard hat for hours, several hours. It's all flat and deflated and gross. Yeah, it's okay, man. You know what else is gross? This Texans hoodie. Don't even know why I represent, dude. I guess somebody's got to. Somebody's got to have the Texans back. Have their back. The second worst team in the NFL. Couldn't even do that. We couldn't even be the worst. We couldn't even be good at being the worst. We got the second round pick behind the Bears. Screw you, Chicago. Nah, man. I hope for a better future for Houston, dude. I want to see them win, dude. I want to see them do good. I've been rocking with them since I was 11 years old. No, 9 years old. That's when they first became a team in 2002. When I very first saw them on the TV. And my dad said, "Look, son, there's the new football team." And I said, "Dad, that's my team." And he went, "Oh, for shame. You're not a Kansas City Chiefs fan?" Congratulations to the Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. Their second one in the last, 5 years? Yeah. For real, dude. We'll talk about it. We'll talk a little bit about it. Sipping the good cuppeth through the straw. I am drinking Kanaloa coffee. It's a Hawaiian coffee, a Hawaiian blend, rather. Although it does not say how much Hawaiian coffee it uses, which can be very deceptive. I don't like that because I know it's not 100%. I got it for $7.99 at Home Goods. I know it's not 100% Hawaiian coffee. It's also not Kona coffee, which I thought was the only Hawaiian coffee, which silly me. That shows my ignorance. There's, of course, several different estates in Hawaii that grow coffee, and this one's from the Kanaloa. The brand is Gold Coffee, and it's very good. I was actually going to do a coffee review of it later, but I think I'm only going to have time to do a podcast today. So be it. Yes, sir. Here we are. Let's talk a little football. Why not? What's funny is that, my dad is a Chiefs fan. But he's always been a Chiefs fan since he was 9 years old. Since 1969 when he saw them in the third Super Bowl versus the Minnesota Vikings. And he's from Ohio. So he's got love for Cleveland, though. He does got love for the Browns and the Cavaliers and the Indians. Oh, I'm sorry, the Guardians. I'm sorry. But growing up with him, even, when we lived in Michigan, we lived in Illinois, we lived in California, it's always been about the Chiefs. Because of my dad. So I've known a lot about the Chiefs. I remember the early 2000s. I remember the days with, Dick Vermeil coaching, with Trent Green and Priest Holmes. Tony Gonzalez, Tony G, who I did see play in his, last season, several years ago. So, and then we moved to where we are now, which is much closer to Kansas City. And it's wild, dude. It's wild when your city's team wins the Super Bowl, man. It's, I don't hate the Chiefs. Yes, I get annoyed sometimes. But it is kind of cool to see everybody get all pumped and excited, for their team winning the Super Bowl, They had a big, huge parade, of course, and everybody around here takes it super serious. I mean, schools were closed, businesses were closed. Big deal, dude, big deal. Where I work, tons of people just didn't show up for work the day after the Super Bowl and on the day of the parade. So it's kind of cool, It makes me feel like I'm a little bit a part of something, even though I'm really not because it's not my team. And I don't fake the funk. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I don't go out there wearing red and yellow, ketchup and mustard colors, which are ugly colors. I'm a steel blue, red, and white colored boy. Not the Patriots, though. Well, I'm fine with two. I'm fine with them too. The only teams I hate are my rivals. I hate the Colts. I hate the Titans. Otherwise, there's teams I'm like, I could care less about. I don't care about the Bears at all. They're like a nothing team to me. And then there's teams I really like to see do well. I like to see the Dolphins do well for some reason. I like to see the Vikings do well. My favorite player of all time is Randy Moss. Hands down, my favorite player. I enjoyed watching him thoroughly back in middle school and high school. Even when he went to the Raiders, when he went to the Patriots. That is my guy. He is my guy, dude. He's missing an arm. 84, baby. So I've always loved to see the Vikings do well. I can't reach this. Okay. I like to see the Panthers do good. I like the Panthers, dude. Even back in the days, like I said, the early 2000s. That was really the golden age of football for me, the early 2000s, man. Ask me any trivia about football in the early 2000s, and I can probably nail it, dude. You had Jake Delhomme, Steve Smith, Machine Muhammad on the Panthers team, dude. The running back, big dude. Okay, I can't remember the running back. But yeah, there's lots of teams I like to watch. They're just fun to watch. The Bills have been fun to watch lately. I've been liking them. But I'm a Texans fan, unfortunately. Which we had a good run for a little while, man. We really did, dude. We had the squad, dude, with Matt Schaub, Andre Johnson, Arian Foster. I think they played together, I'm pretty sure. But even when Andre Johnson, left, we had DeAndre Hopkins. We had J.J. Watt, we had D'Amico Ryans, we had Whitney Merciless, dude. We had, oh my gosh, Jadeveon Clowney, bro. We had the squad for a couple of years, man, for a few years. And, boy, it just got ripped to pieces. The Deshaun Watson stuff happened. I can't remember if I've ever talked about that. I haven't looked enough into it, so I don't know. But that poor guy... / maybe not poor guy. I don't know, depending on how horrible he actually is. His career is ruined. Once you take an NFL player out of the NFL for like a year, they're done. They're done. And you run them through the mud through just bad press and publicity, negative publicity. They never come back the same. I've never seen a player come back the same, ever. Mike Vick never came back the same. He did okay for the Eagles, but just not the same, dude. Jamal Lewis for the Ravens, the running back, when he went to prison and came out, he was never the same. Adrian Peterson, dude, when he went through his stuff, he wasn't the same. Man, even Jamal Charles, right? When you take these guys away from their thing, dude, you just ruin them. They'd never have a career ever again, really. I might be missing some exception, but not that I can think of. But yeah, dude, so congrats to the Chiefs, dude. It's always hard to say, like, who's going to be the next Patriots, dude. And it's wild that I lived through the Patriots. My dad would probably look back on, like, the Cowboys in the 90s with Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and all that, Emmitt Smith, or the Bills, in the 80s and 90s, I guess, were one of the best teams. Back in the 70s, it's the Steelers, But, dude, the Patriots, dude, has there been anything like it? It was really insane how for, like, 15 years straight, it was just the Patriots in the Super Bowl every year. You just knew it. You could predict it. And they became, like, the most hated team ever. It was like, at the beginning of the season, well, who's going to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl this year? Wild, dude, wild. That Tom Brady, boy, I tell you what, people hate on him, but I love him. I do love me some Tom Brady. Yeah, he's so fun to watch. Just one of the maybe the best ever to play football, I mean, let's not forget about Brett Favre, too, dude. Brett Favre was a stud, dude. Brett Favre was a machine, man. And he's going through lots of weird stuff right now, too. I don't even know. Every time that guy's in the news, it's like, oh, his sister was addicted to meth, and he's like defrauding people. I don't know. You even know. He slept with a stripper or a hooker or something. I don't even know. I don't even know. I shouldn't say things like that if I don't really know. But no, man, dude, like Brett Favre, and very comparable to Tom Brady, I feel like, because, with Tom Brady, it was like, oh, is he going to retire? Isn't he? He's like 45. And that was with Brett Favre, too. I mean, Brett Favre came out of retirement like at least twice. Went to play for, the Vikings and then the Jets. I imagine it must be hard to let go, just like leaving any job, any regular job you've been at for 10, 15 to 20 years. That's got to be really hard to let go of. Especially when you got to admit it to age, you're 40, and you're like, I can still do it, and you get knocked on your butt, and you're just like, I can't do it. At a certain point, dude, you got to, give it up and say you did your time, you made your imprint, and go be a sports commentator, So Tom Brady's retired, finally. It's crazy to see it in my lifetime as I'm nearing 30. That's a whole discussion in itself right there. But the Chiefs, could be the kind of the next Patriots in a way. I think there's so many other good teams. I think we're going to constantly see swapping in and out. Some years it's going to be the Chiefs. Some years it's probably going to be the Bengals or the Bills. As far as AFC goes, NFC, it's like, man, it's always a toss-up with the NFC, dude. I mean, Eagles are pretty consistently good. You never know with the Cowboys. Another team I like to see do good is the Cowboys. I really do. Yeah. I don't know. But the Chiefs are, they're really good, dude. They got it together with the coach and just the players, dude. The quarterback, Mr. Patty Mahomes. I mean, they're so good. They really are, dude. And you gotta put some respect on their names, you jabronis. Know your role. Right, as Travis Kelce says. That's so funny he says that. Because I'm pretty sure that word was popularized by It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And then they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I bet you the boys of Sunny are super mad that he's calling the people jabronis. But I think it's great. That Patrick Mahomes has such a, I hope he has just an amazing career. I hope he goes to 40 with 10 Super Bowl rings, dude. I wouldn't be mad at him. People get mad at winners. I'm just not like that. I don't know why. I love to see winners, dude. And I love to see people rub their winnings in everybody's faces, I love a good showboater, That's why I love Randy Moss. When he scores a touchdown, he lets you know because he pretends to moon the crowd or he does, a dance or whatever. Like, I love a little showboating, bro. If you're good, bro, let people know. Let people know how good you are, man. That confidence, dude. I love it. Stoicism's cool, too, like the Brett Favres or whatever. I've never seen him really gloat. But I like a little showboating. I don't know. And, Patrick Mahomes, you don't really see him, like, showboating too much. But that dude's, he's like 27, bro. He's killing it, dude. He is crushing it. He is crushing it. He is living the best life right now. Like, God bless him. God bless him and his stupid little girlfriend that everybody seems to hate. But yeah, it feels like people hate the Chiefs, dude. Like, already. It's like, dude, they just started, like, winning, for the first time in a long time. Like, everybody loved, like, ESPN, dude. They love the Bills, and they love the Bengals, and they even love Tua and the Dolphins, and they love the Eagles, and they love the Cowboys. But the Chiefs, they barely want to talk about the Chiefs, dude. But it's like, man, they're going to keep winning until you just start talking about them. Put some respect on their name. They winners, dude. They winners. Oh, boy. Yeah. 29 years old, man. I'm 29, and on the fast track to 30. This is the second half of 29, as I like to call it, it is crazy how time works and how we invented this whole 12-month calendar and a birth year that we celebrate. We celebrate our birth date or our birthday. Because it's like right when you turn a new age, I don't know, man. It's like there's like a first half and a second half of it, I feel like. Especially if you're born in the middle of the year-ish. Like my birthday's in August. So, like right now, I'm in the second half of 29, right now. And so I look back at like the first half of 29 and it always seems very different and very like, it seems like a long time ago almost. Those first like 6 months of being a new age, because so much can happen in 6 months, dude. So much. Your life can change in 6 months. You can go through some tragic or astronomical event in 6 months, and then the next 6 months something crazy could happen. I've really realized that with having a child. When my daughter turned, like 2 even, the first 6 months of being 2 was like, oh, still like kind of like little baby-ish, but then that last half of being 2 was like, she was like almost like a 4 or 5 year old, it felt like. I mean, just so much progress happens in those 6 months with talking, forming more sentences and just being smarter overall with, figuring everything out, figuring how to get the candy out from the cupboard and stuff, and, scheming ideas, finding ways to hide things from mom and dad, thinking of lies to tell mom and dad, they get very schemy, around like 3 years old and 4 years old. And my daughter, she's on the, I guess, second half of being 4, and already, again, like, she's already just so much older, it feels like, since she turned 4, that first few months of being 4, to like now, where she is now, and it's just incredible. She's a full-blown just kid, man, the way she talks is almost like a teenager. It's absolutely wild, and she's just pistol whip smart, dude. I don't know if that's a saying or not. She's as smart as a whip, dude. She's so sharp as a knife. There's some saying there. She's so smart, Jade. It really is. And just so athletic and limber. And she's doing somersaults and flipping off the couch and just doing crazy stuff, dude. And it's truly amazing. And sometimes I'm like, you're still 4? What? You're not 8? Are you sure? Same thing when she was 3, dude. 3, I've probably talked about this before, but when I was younger, dude, like even like in high school or early 20s, a 3-year-old seemed like a baby to me. But, then you have a 3-year-old and they're just how well they talk, dude, and how well they do things. Maybe it's just my daughter. I'm just kidding. But you're like, well, this is 3? What is 9 going to be like? It's absolutely wild. And like I said, like that first half of 3 versus the second half of 3 is just crazy, dude. It's crazy what happens in 6 months. And every year, dude, is just mind-blowing with her. And I'm just really trying to slow down time by just, just by focusing on the moment, I guess. That's all you can really do, dude. Like, sometimes I'll just look at her. I'll just be like, let me hold this moment. Let me freeze time, please. Right now, where I can remember where she's just a 4-year-old kid right now, playing some video games on her tablet, or playing with her dollhouse, or coloring. She's so good at coloring. She's good at drawing and writing, dude. And sometimes I just look at her when she's doing things. She probably thinks I'm a weird dad. But, I used to catch my mom doing stuff like that too when I was little. Like, I would just look at her and I noticed she's like looking at me smiling. And I remember calling her out one time. I couldn't have been much older than like 5 years old. And I was like, why are you smiling at me, Mom? She's like, because I love you. And I was like, that's weird. What a weird thing to do. But now I get it, dude. I get it, Mom. I totally get it. I catch myself doing that where I just be looking at her. I just be like, dude, she's so amazing, man. Like, that's my daughter. That's my blood right there, man. That's so crazy, dude. It's like you try to imagine those things when you're younger. And, I remember being probably 14, imagining what my future wife and future kid would be like. And then when it happens, it's just incredible, and I don't know. I definitely was off. I definitely was off on what I imagined, because you can't possibly imagine what it's going to be like. But it's even better, though. It's so much better than what I could possibly have imagined back then. And I'm just loving it, I'm loving it. I really am. I'm loving the dad thing and the husband thing, But it's got its downside still. Don't get me wrong. In a little less than 6 months, I'm going to be 30 years old, dude. And that's just again, you try to imagine being 30 and you just think you're such an old person, when you're 12 or whatever, imagining when you're going to be 30, you're like, oh, that's like an old man. That's like an adult. And then here I am, dude, and I play just as much GameCube now as I did when I was 12, and I'm about to be 30. That's autism, though. I think that's autism, which I think we all have a little bit of this day and age. I think we're all a little autistic. We're all a little on the spectrum. A lot of middle-aged people playing Pokemon cards right now. Just saying. I love Pokemon, dude. I don't care who knows. But yeah. It's one of those things too. It's just I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm just like, yeah, dude, I do look 30. Other people would tell me all the time I look like I'm 20, 21, and I'll take it. I will take it. Give me the feels. Give me the compliments. I'll take it all day. But when I look at myself, dude, when I look at my hands and my skin and my feet, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, this is 30-year-old people's body, dude. It's wild, man. I'm looking like my dad in so many ways. It's so crazy, dude. It's a lot to take in sometimes when you really stop and realize it all. And like I said, man, I'm wanting to hold on to moments so time just slows down a little bit, but it's flying by. It's flying by, man. And it's the last of my 20s. And I'm not handling it the best mentally. I'm really not. Still trying to figure out what the heck to do with my life. It's crazy how I still haven't figured it out. Now, I don't have much of a plan. I felt like I made some moves way too late in my life. It's like I wasted a lot of time. Man. It really sucks I didn't graduate college. That's the biggest regret of my life, dude. The absolute biggest, because it's just when you graduate high school, you're like, oh, well, what's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to go to college for 4 years and get a bachelor's degree by the time I'm 22, and then work a big boy job starting at 22 and start making lots of money right then at 22. Nah, dude. Nah, bro. That didn't happen at all. I wasn't even close to a bachelor's degree at 22 because I just wasn't taking enough credits and getting bad grades, and I was in school until I was 25 and still didn't get a degree until I finally was like, I gotta bow out, man. Wasted my time. And then I wasted another 2 years working at a gas station making $10.25 an hour, and it was fun, but it's dude, imagine if I would have just started working in a factory like I do now and started just stacking my money, bro. I just started late. Man. It's just, I didn't start making good money until 27, 2 years ago. Started my 401k and all that jazz. All that boring grown-up stuff. And it just feels late. And now I'm like, okay, well, going to my 30s with this, I guess. I'm mostly okay with that. Keep keep this job that I'm at and just kick butt at it every day, well into my 30s. But then after that, I'm going to have to figure out what the heck I want to do. Me and my wife always talked about moving out to California when we were, back in high school almost, really. I remember we both applied to colleges out in like Santa Barbara and stuff, dude. Like we were really going to do it, man, and we didn't. And now we've finally settled down in a way where we're like, well, we could live here for quite a long time, I think. It's got its benefits living where we're at. I mean, it's cheap, so it's like you can save your money and then just go on vacations to places and then come back home, And we're both mutually okay with that. So it's like, well, how long do I want to stay in this town, though, specifically? How long do I want to stay at this job specifically, I mean, I'll admit it's scary to think about being like some people that I work with who, were working at this place for 20 to 30 years or whatever. It's like, am I prepared to do that? Am I going to retire here, after like 30 years? That's not what I planned on, that's for sure. But maybe, dude. I just have no idea. I think it's safe to give it at least another 5 years until about 34, 35. And then I really got to say, what am I going to do? Because I'm going to be an old man real fast, dude. 40. Once I hit 35, it's like, might as well be 40. That's how I feel personally. I'm not trying to project that on anybody else, because I know some 35-year-old's going to be like, hey! That's just how I feel personally. I don't even know how to describe it. I just fear time. I fear time and I fear aging so much that it's like I have to talk to myself in that way. And I have to try to get myself to admit yeah, I'm old. I got to accept that. I'm not a kid. As much as I wish I was, because I just, I have such good memories of being a kid and my childhood that I'm just so scared to just leave it all behind, and I have pretty much. There's only so long you could act like a kid or whatever, It's acceptable when you're 20s and maybe in your early 30s even these days, but once you hit 40, bro, it's just like, you're done. You're done, son. Take a seat. You're an old dad. Better start getting the train collections going, wearing a conductor hat. Start whittling wood or something weird, That's how it feels. I don't have to. Who knows how I'll feel when I'm 40, but, I'm a firm believer that you got to do things by a certain point in your life or you will never do them. I'm aware of the second act, don't get me wrong. I'm aware of second acts in life, being a avid follower of Steve Jobs, or admirer, rather. I didn't really get into him until after he died, but he's greatly inspired me because when he hit 40, bro, that's when he hit his stride. Getting back to Apple and then making the iPod, or helping with the iPod and the iPhone and the iPad. He didn't make them, let's be real. But, he had an amazing second act in life where he really imprinted his legacy forever. But you got to have a bit of a first act, though, too. I mean, he helped found Apple first in his 20s, dude. When he was like 25 or 26. So he had that, The most I have is that I made a short film at 22, and I started a podcast at 26, and I did some open mic comedy nights, some stand-up at 27. That's all I got. That's all I got, really. I didn't write any books. I didn't make any great pieces of art. I made some dumb TikToks. I did that. But, I love to look back in history. I like to look back at the Renaissance and the Enlightenment. And I know it's not fair to compare because times were different. People had more time, They didn't have an iPhone and TV and video games to distract them all the time. Imagine if Voltaire had a GameCube. You think he would even have written as much as he did? Would he have been a great philosopher? If Michelangelo had an iPad, you think he would have been doing the Sistine Chapel? Maybe. He probably would have designed it on his tablet first and then made it. I don't know. It's hard to say, but those people did great works early on in their life. They, they were apprentices really early on in their teenage years. You look at people like Mozart or Bach, a lot of the great musicians of that time, and they did a lot of their earliest, best works at 19, 20, 21, 22, and then just continue doing great works, throughout their 30s and 40s until they died at 52, because that's how it was. Now, a lot of those people lived to 60s and 70s, but it's like they started their great work so early on and just had 40 years of just amazing work, and I just look at myself, it's like, when am I going to start doing amazing work? When am I going to make that great piece of art? And then I think, maybe that's not in it for me, dude. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just going to be a factory worker, and that's my greatest contribution to this planet. I just make lots of money making hot dogs, and I make I make ballpark rich. I make Tyson, cut that out. I make, I'm not trying to say where I work. I make a meat packing company very, very wealthy, maybe. Maybe that's my contribution. And that's hard for me to accept, because I've always had this part in me that's just like wants to make something great. And I know how cheesy and cliche that sounds. And when I hear other people talk about it, I'm like, shut up. But dude, it's like, man, I always had that. I've always had that since, I was young, since I was 12 or 13. And then it was just amplified when I turned 20, and I was like, I'm going to be the greatest screenwriter ever. I'm going to be the next Paul Thomas Anderson. Even he, started out making movies at like 22, 23, and he made Boogie Nights at 27, got his first Oscar nom at 27. So it's like I'm just so hyper aware of that fact. I'm like, nobody makes their first great piece of art at 40. They don't. They might make their best piece of art at 40, but they probably had 20 years of art before that too. Of, also great pieces. But it's like, I haven't even made that one yet. And that's very hard for me to accept right now. So I don't know what to do, I'm trying to just keep on rocking. Trying to make the right decisions in life. Trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to remember that family comes first, though. Family comes first. I'm doing a great thing for my family, for my daughter and my wife, by working, 50 hours a week or whatever, 6 days a week. I'm doing a great thing with that, by doing that. So I just got to try to keep that in mind and not get too selfish, because sometimes I get real selfish, and I'm just like, it's about my dreams, and, I need to be doing everything that it takes to accomplish those dreams, and I need to make sacrifices. You got to make sacrifices to achieve your dreams. That's where my mind has been at the last 10 years almost. Make sacrifices. It's the only way you achieve your dreams. And I'm just slowly falling into reality of like, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I can't sacrifice my family, dude. Like, I can't sacrifice certain things. I can't sacrifice my great job that helps me support my family to go run off and make a movie or try to make a show or try to become a comedian, Can't. And I have a terrible problem with jealousy. Terrible problem with jealousy. It was really shining through yesterday. Because I haven't been to open mic in like 2 months. I haven't done any stand-up in about 2 months. And I've gone longer. I've gone 3 months. I'm such a weirdo. I've kept track, of every stand-up that I've done 17 times, which is my magic number. That's my favorite number. 17 times I've done stand-up in a year and a half, about a year and 7 months. A year and 7 months, 17. How about that? And, for one, I'm just not getting any better. That's just not enough. Those long stretches, going 2 to 3 months without doing it, it's just like, I'm not getting any better. There's no way you're going to get any better. And so I was like, dude, I need to get back to open mic. And there's this place, I go to the same place all the time. I've been to a few other different places too, a couple different places. But one of them shut down. The other one was in San Diego, which if I'm ever back out there, I'm definitely hitting up the Madhouse Comedy Club again for the open mic. Maybe, unless I get too scared to, because my anxiety, dude, it's brutal. But I got my main place that I go to, and I was looking at another place that I've heard of that had open mic last night, and I go on their Facebook, and trying to figure out when's the open mic, what time, and I just see some stuff posted, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, on their comedy nights, and it's just plastered with faces of the people that I see at my regular place that I go to, and I'm just like, good for them. Good for them. They're killing it. They're killing it, dude. Good for them. I hate them. No. Yeah, I get jealous, dude. I'm like, oh, man, they're crushing it. But they're also putting in so much time and effort. I mean, they're going to open mics, at least 2 open mics every week, probably, maybe more. I see the same people pretty much every time I go to the open mic that I go to. And, now I see that they're obviously killing it by getting maybe booked. I don't know how it works, at these other places. They're killing it. They're crushing it, dude. They're living their dreams. And, I even saw the face of one dude that, he even, complimented me one night. He's like, dude, those are funny jokes. I was like, thank you. And he's funny and he's cool. But he's a real young guy. And just to see his face on that Facebook page at that other place, I'm just like, oh, dude, he must be stoked. He's doing it, man. He's crushing it then. They're getting gigs at other places. Like, wow. There's a part of me that wants that so bad, but I'll never have it because I'm not there enough. I don't put the time into getting better. People barely remember who I am. And, I just, it gives me a great amount of anxiety even because I'm just an anxious person. I'm a shy person, and I've always felt like an outsider. And, I'm an outsider for sure. I've been going there for a year and a half, so it's like some people do remember me. And me going there a year and a half, it's like I've seen so many people come and go. I'll see people come, and I'll see them again next month and the month after, and then months will go by and I won't see that person. And you wonder, it's like, did they give up? I wonder, or did they start going somewhere else? Did they move? Something happened in their life? But it's like I actually do keep popping up, so, I was really hoping at a time that would pay off, and it might, but I don't know, I still just feel like such an outsider there, though. I'm such an outsider. I don't try very hard to be included with the group, with the regulars, and that's just been me my whole life in school and everything, dude. Like, I played football, 1 year in high school, and I was a total outsider there. I didn't try to even get involved with anybody in the team or any team activities or anything. I skipped practice, and, I think, during games, people probably forgot I even played because I sat on the bench, and I've just always been an outsider, it feels like. And that's how I feel there, and it gives me a great deal of anxiety, and so I'm just constantly always, telling myself, I give up. I give up. It's been 2 months because I'm like, I give up. I'm not going back, I tell myself. I'm not ever going back. I give up. And then I just think about it. I'm like, oh, dude, I need to go back. I need to go back, dude. I'll think of some jokes I want to tell, and I'm just like, I'm going to go back probably. I don't know when, maybe next week. But I'll never be to, their level. They're killing it, and a lot of those people are going to go places because that scene where I'm at right now, that, Kansas City scene, I'll say. I don't live in Kansas City. I'm not going to dox myself. I just live kind of close. That Kansas City comedy scene, it seems like it's blowing up, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I live near there, but there's some incredibly talented, funny people that hit those open mics, and I think it's very possible I might see them, on a Netflix special one day, and I'll be like, yeah, dude, I remember you at open mic, bro. And look at me, I'm working in a hot dog factory. Whoa, yes! My dream is coming true. I'm just like, I don't even know if I could be a stand-up comedian, I don't know if I could live that life. So it's like, what's the point of trying? I don't know. I never know. I never know. I'm almost 30, so it's like, when do I give up? Because we live in give up America. When do I give up? I've had this idea or dream to make a comedy show in the same kind of like realm of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Arrested Development, I mean, not original idea at all. But I mean, since I was like 14, I've imagined, ever since I became obsessed with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I was like, dude, I want to make a show like that so bad. And here I am almost 30, and I still have not even attempted it. I have a script, but who knows if I'll ever make it a thing, But that's a dream of mine. I would love to have a comedy series, that goes like 5 seasons even. That's all. Maybe just 4 or 5 seasons. That's it. I would be totally happy with that. At least I think I would. Who knows? Knowing me, I'm always wanting more. But, there's that. And I still, I still love the filmmaking idea, the script writing idea, the directing a movie. There's still that fantasy that plagues my brain. And here I am about to be 30, dude. It's like do or die. It's do or die because I'm not making a comedy series when I'm 45, that's for sure. That's not happening. I'm not going to become a stand-up comedian at 45. That's not happening. That's very, 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 very rare. Very rare. So I better do something here in 2023 or I'm done, bro. Put a stick in me and cook me and eat me because I'm done. I'll be done. So, who knows what'll happen. I try not to let those thoughts bog me down, but boy, do they come and go, though, man. They come and they stay and linger, and then they go. Trying to just focus on the now, of course, which is the hardest thing for me to do ever. Focusing on the now, being in the present. I have a very difficult time doing that. Always. People don't even realize it, dude. Like, as I understand, this is my podcast, so I'm not going to treat it like it's my diary, because I have a diary. But people don't even know what's going through my head, I think, 99% of the time. I'm just one of those people that people say they like me, and people talk to me, and we make jokes, we make each other laugh, but if people knew what was going on in my head at the same time, I mean, I know I'm not the only one. Who feels this way, but when I'm in those moments, I'm like feeling like a total outsider. And I'm not feeling comfortable in my own skin. And I'm totally like, I'm being myself, but at the same time, I'm faking the funk a little bit because I can't just break down and cry mid-conversation with somebody. Because sometimes I feel that way. Me and my wife were with some friends last night, and there were moments, dude, where I was like, I just kind of wish I could go away and cry for a little bit. But it's like you can't. You got to keep the energy up. You got to be social. You got to conversate with people, ask people questions. How's your life? How's your job? And I love these people, I really do. I love all the people in my life. But if they knew, dude, if you guys knew what was going through my head when I'm with you guys and with my friends and stuff, it's torturous. I feel I do not feel comfortable in my own skin. Recently, I was just listening to some Greg Giraldo clip from Opie and Anthony back in 2009 before he OD'd and died. And Greg Giraldo is one of the first comedian names I ever heard of back in the day when I got into stand-up when I was like 13. I remember watching Greg Giraldo and Dave Attell, live at the Gotham or whatever. And I've still never seen a full Greg Giraldo special, though, as embarrassing as that is. I've seen him in the roasts, with Jeff Ross and all them. But just that name alone, just always, something about him just always resonated with me. And then when I found this clip of him on Opie and Anthony before he died, he pretty much said the same thing. He's like, I feel like an outsider. And I don't even feel like comfortable in my own skin. And it's like, yes, dude. Yes, Gaga. That's exactly how I feel. I could be making people laugh around me, but I'm telling you, I do not feel comfortable in my own skin even after something like that. After I make a joke and make people laugh. I'm telling you. There's so much self-loathing, and like I said, I don't mean to get too deep. Save it for the diary, but these are deep thoughts. These are my thoughts, and this is my podcast, which I live in a glorious day and age where any Joe Schmo, white trash guy like me can set up his white trash pod or tripod and make a podcast. But I'm also incredibly blessed with a good job to pay for things, and parents with money who help me pay for things, which I know is very looked down upon, and I'm very aware of that. And I rarely ask for anything, just so people know, even though nobody cares, but I hate asking for things. I hate asking for expensive things. My wife told me, for years, ask your parents to buy you a video camera. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will buy my own video camera one day. And finally last year, I just asked my parents, can I get a video camera for Christmas? They bought me this mic for my birthday, and my mom bought me my computer for my birthday. It's like, but I hate asking for it. I'll be wanting those things for years, and I'll finally buckle and just ask for it. And they'll be like, okay. And I'm just like, ugh. It hurts me. It hurts me for them to buy me expensive things. I hate it so much. But it's why I'm able to do the things that I, at least somewhat enjoy doing. I get to do the podcast, and that's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And so I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about. How about that? But yeah. So these are a lot of my thoughts on the road to 30. Last year I wanted to make a big celebration being 29. I was like, I don't want to be depressed. I just want to have fun. And so, me and my parents, my wife, and my daughter, we went to a big arcade, and it was really fun. And now it's like, man, should I do something really big for 30? Or am I just going to wallow in depression and shut myself inside? And, it could go either way. For my wife, I tried to take her out to a fancy restaurant. And when she turned 29, I threw her a little party, But I know, she feels a certain way too, getting older. And it's, we've known each other since we were 15. So we are literally watching each other grow older and slowly die. And, it's not always easy. It's easy to watch each other get older, but I know it's not easy for us both to, internalize that getting older. And I don't want to be selfish. I know, even though she's not as vocal as me about it, I know sometimes it's hard for her too. And I just want to, I don't know. We should have done a big celebration for her 30th. I feel a little bad about that. We should have done something bigger. But even she was just like, I just want to mourn for my 30th birthday. I was like, I feel that. And so I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Do I want to have a big celebration, or do I want to shut myself in and close shut the blinds and shut the lights off and cry? I don't know. That's an hour. It's about an hour, isn't it? One other thing I wanted to talk about is YouTube. Is the whole YouTube situation. Maybe I should save that, though. I'll save that. This kind of turned into a different thing. I'll save that. I kind of wanted to touch on YouTube monetization and YouTubers and YouTuber life, which I'm living a YouTuber life right now. I've been in the game for a long time, like a lot of people have been. I've been making YouTube videos off and on since 2007, okay? And not once have I wanted to make money off of it. Not once. And I'll just say this, that's not going to change, I don't think. We live in a day and age where being a YouTuber is the most profitable career at this point right now. Next to, an athlete or an actor or something. And, but that means there's so many people, and because it's so easy to make your setup and everything and make a video, like we see so many people throwing themselves at it and just whoring themselves out for the views, selling their souls for the advertisers. And I won't do it. I won't do it. I've decided that, there was a time where I did think about it, I mean, I used to make Let's Plays when I was like 17, 18 years old, back in like 2011, 2012 maybe. And I never really thought about making money off that either, even though that was the Let's Play boom. It was just for fun. Remember making YouTube videos for fun? Remember that, guys? Remember we used to do that. We used to just make YouTube videos for fun. But now everybody's got to have that ad revenue, boy, and people will bend themselves backwards to make the ad revenue. People complain, I can't say a swear word in the first 3 minutes or else I lose my revenue. You think, well, they would be like, well, screw you advertisers, I'm going to do it anyway. But no, they're buckling. They're absolutely bending to the rules so they can make that ad revenue, boy. Because they don't want to go back to working a 9-to-5 job, if they've ever worked one ever. And I have the fortunate, I'm fortunate enough to have a job where I make over $20 an hour, and I don't need ad revenue. And I hope I will never need ad revenue. I will never want to rely on a YouTube video to eat dinner tonight, to make sure my lights stay on. I will never, like I said, I've restarted my YouTube career in 2020, and it was purely for me. And finally, the thoughts started crossing my mind, like, what if one day I hit it big? Am I going to start making money off my videos? And you never want to say never. Because maybe it's the jealousy in me of seeing everybody else make hundreds of thousands of dollars for making stupid YouTube videos. But I'm telling you, man, I don't want that. I don't want money to get in the way of the fun of making a YouTube video ever. And I don't ever, it's just not for me. I don't want to judge anybody. Because if you can make money off of YouTube, that is amazing. That is amazing. And yes, go get your money. But what I'm saying is some people I feel like go too far with it, and they just aren't themselves anymore. If you want to swear in the first 3 seconds of your video, you're not going to do it so you can make, another $1,000 off of a video or something. Really? No. Heck no. And I don't swear in my videos anyways, but if I wanted to, I would do it within the first second. and I give the middle finger to anybody, any ad revenue that was on, any advertiser that was on my video that was like, oh, we're pulling the ad revenue off. Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Don't need you, sweetie. I make 20-something an hour, buddy. I don't care. Excuse me. I just personally don't want that in my life. Maybe because I know who I am and I can be a very selfish, greedy person. I don't need that stress in my life. I don't ever want to make money off a YouTube video, ever. So I will always purely do this for me and me only. And that's how we're going to keep it. What a somber episode, yo. Hopefully the next one will be funner. Hopefully I'll have a special guest next time. My very, very good friend. I'm not mentioning right now. But, hopefully I have some in-person guests. Maybe my wife, once I get this new mic. When I do that, it'll be a different setup. Because it's just not... man. It would be very difficult to do here. I'd have to move so much around. I could maybe pull it off, but I'm thinking about doing it in my kitchen. Yeah, that's how much I don't care. I'm thinking about doing it in my kitchen. It would be a lot better for two people to sit at the kitchen dining table and do that. So the background and stuff will look different, but that's okay because I do whatever I want. And yeah, I guess also I just want to say I love anybody who watches and listens. I love you, my friends who are my friends for some reason, who talk to me for some reason. Thank you. I know I need it. That's why I try to force myself to get out and about, or force myself to try to message certain people, because I know I need to. I need people in my life, even though sometimes I just want to not have anybody in my life. I know I need it, so thank you. Thank you, people, for showing me love in my life and showing me that you care. I'm sorry if I don't always give it back, because sometimes I'm really bad about that, but I do love you. I do. I love you all. And I love my mom, my dad, and my brother, and my sister. And, my in-laws, my mom-in-law, my sister-in-law, and her fiance, and almost said husband. Almost. No, they are husband. Yeah, they're married. So my brother-in-law, I love you, and I love you guys. I love you all. So that's gonna do it for this episode of Deep Thoughts. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and be good, stay safe, think freely, think often. And we'll see you next time, whenever that may be, on another episode of Deep Thoughts. Take care, guys.